Sid says, I have a small question. I'm falling again in the trap of missing my ex. Oh, it's a trap that you walk into because you're fully focused on the emotions that you used to have before you really became enlightened about how the actual scenario and the story and the theater and discrepancies involved in there with what you really were looking for. Because you don't focus on that, you're only focusing on the soft parts, on the pleasantries. And when you think about the pleasantries with your ex, we men, we just simply don't have a capacity to, at the same time, think about the logical things, the bad stuff that was going on, things that we weren't happy with, because we're totally consumed with the pleasure points, pleasure parts, the happy parts, especially when we are worried about something. On a weak side, we are concerned about the things that we are trying to accomplish and we don't see the result. When we work hard and we feel we focus only on what would make us feel good, which was the pleasure parts of the relationship we had with the ex, instead of even at that moment that you need that pat on the back or hugs or whatever from your ex, you think about really what was going on that was taking you towards a deep hole. And before you fell, you got yourself out. But when you feel a little bit concerned or busy with things, trying to accomplish things, and your mind is not settled, you try to seek refuge. You try to find security. And where do you find that? It's not in front of you, but you want it. So you create it. Where? Based on what? On your memory. You already have all the files there. You rush in there, you go to the good parts, and you try to sit there and baste. Say, okay, oh yeah, that feels good, that feels good. Oh yeah, I had a hard day. Oh yeah, I'm worried about these exams. Oh yeah, I'm worried about these accomplishments that I'm hoping to fulfill, this project. But now, I feel, yeah. In my memory, she's there. Not her, but a circumstance, a way, a theater where I feel good because it happens to be the ex. But I needed someone to give me that assurances. And there's no one around. So I remember when she was giving me assurances, when I was feeling good and manly and accomplished because I had spent so much focus and put so much effort on fulfilling, accomplishing what I was hoping to accomplish. And that made me feel good. So all that memory exists. So you go in there and then you feel good and then you wonder, oh, I wish she was here. I miss her. Naturally you will, because that's what you think and that's what you feel. So all is about what you're going through in life, how vulnerable you are as far as neediness for some pat on the back or a woman's touch, a feeling of I worth something because I haven't accomplished really what I want to accomplish, but that pat on the back and lovey-dovey and the support and the possible care, maybe a tea in front of you or pleasantry or some support would have made you feel good. And none of that exists in real life, so you go into your memory to find it. When you go into your memory, you find all other wonderful things about her, about the ex, and you say, I miss her. Which is because you totally have ignored and incapable at that moment to focus on the conflicts and divisions, the things that actually made this thing don't work. the things that were not good about her, because that's not what you need at that moment. You need the good stuff. So you go for the good stuff because your mind is insecure, is looking for security. Where can you find it? He can find it in the order. There is no such order as you used to have, as you need it now. But where is that order? Oh, it's in the memory. So your mind goes in the memory, finds those things in order to become one with that order and feel secure. So the whole thing is about your mind looking for security, can't find it there because you haven't replaced it with another girl or another full understanding of focus, what it means for you to focus on your work, what it means to your life. You're still focusing on pleasure parts, not treating yourself seriously and treating yourself like a baby, like let me give it the lollipop that he wants, even though it's not good for it, and then you get trapped in thinking that the whole thing was good and you have lost something. There you go. Yeah. And of course, at the end of that, when you miss all that, you say, there was nothing wrong with her, so I must have done something wrong. I must have. Because you're now weak and you want to apologize. You want to apologize for no reason. And she's not there, so you blame yourself, because that blaming yourself, questioning yourself, what have I done wrong? It must have been me. It's a form of apology. A form of submitting to your desire for pleasure, as pleasure becomes your master. And it's the pleasure that you seek, but the most recent pleasure and comfort and security and the order that you received was through her. So therefore, her becomes what you seek. She becomes what you seek. It's pleasure, but you see it look like her, because through her you were receiving that pleasure, the most recent pleasure, and that's what you're focused on. And then you start blaming yourself. It must be me. Why? Because how can I call pleasure, which is the most sought after thing in life, guilty of anything? Pleasure is what I really want. So pleasure is innocent of all guilts, all roles in this whole thing. So, and because it was her that the pleasure I was receiving it through, and pleasure has no guilt, therefore she has no guilt. Therefore it must be me. And that guilt pulls you down, that I have lost something. Not that that wasn't a qualified situation for me, and she, her manners, attitude, behavior, mentality was not qualified to be in a relationship with a man with my preferences, my qualifications, my mentality, my preferences. And it seemed to me illogical what she was doing, but you don't see any of that. You see the pleasure because you seek pleasure. And pleasure has no guilt because it makes you feel good. How could you call something that makes you feel good be at guilt? That's what you want. You want to feel good in life. That's why people go towards anything, alcohol, drugs, just to feel good, because they think feeling good is the most important thing in life, which is total nonsense. If that was the case, then everybody would be going after what makes them feel good, including crazies and murderers and so on, because what makes them feel good is to do wrong things. So not everything that makes you feel good is good for you. Simple. Or good for the society for that reason. So focus on that you're giving yourself a hard time, falling into a trap because you're seeking pleasure. Pleasure in your mind would have no guilt of any kind whatsoever, because it makes you feel good, and that feeling good was coming through her. Therefore you think she's of no guilt, therefore, but I don't have that old situation relationship, so it must be my fault. And then you feel sad and depressed. It's all bullshit. Open your eyes. Be with the moment. See the whole story. Don't pick up a fragment of a story that's suitable to you because that's what you need right now, and then think that fragment represent the whole entirety of that relationship and that characteristics of that woman or that relationship or that partner. When you see the whole thing, you are with the actuality and fact and truth of the matter, not what makes you be oblivious because of the pleasure that you would receive, and that's what you need. If you open your eyes, come to the moment, out of your memory, you'll be fine. Take your life seriously. You're still treating it like it's a game. You're allowing your desires for pleasure to rule you instead of having your desire, ego, fear follow you with a distance at your command. Take your life seriously. See what you have embarked on and how you have saved yourself, and continue your path. Translate what it means for you to focus on your studies, to your life, to your well-being, to your pocket, to your opportunities, to what you want to build and experience in this journey of life. And go to it. Stop being a sissy. Stop treating yourself like a kid. Take responsibility for it. Have no fear of understanding that the other side was at guilt. What guilt? Guilt of being stupid. Why? Because we've talked about it. It's not something everybody else knows. We've talked about it. The mentality is totally made her blind. And she's not thinking of herself as an entity. She's simply waiting around as a sacrificial lamb to something that she believes in. And that belief is running her life. And you, for the purpose of getting some from her, you're willing to also follow her like the sheep following another sheep. Treat yourself with respect. Get out of that. Focus on your life. Become bigger than the pleasure. Become more valuable. Not pleasure worth more than you. You worth more than any pleasure. When it's detriment to your life, focus on your life. Build your life. Don't sell your life short to pleasure. That's what you're doing. Focus on your work. Get you that PhD. Get that done. Now, go to it. Listen to this when I upload it again. All right.